Hello, good day. How are you today? You're good, right? Okay. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are? That is good. Today in agricultural science, we are going to be learning about weathering. Okay? Our topic for today in agricultural science is on weathering. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are, right? Good. So first we're going to be looking at the meaning of weathering. Weathering is the natural process by which rocks and minerals are broken down, eroded, or otherwise altered over time due to various environmental factors such as temperature changes, moisture, wind, and chemical reactions. It is a fundamental geological process that leads to disintegration and the composition of rocks into smaller particles and is a crucial step in the formation of soil. Okay? Do we understand? Weathering is the process by which rocks and minerals are broken down into smaller particles through various natural processes. This is an important step in soil formation, okay, in the formation of soil. Do we understand that? Weathering is when rocks and minerals are broken down into smaller pieces over time. It happens because of natural forces like wind, water, and temperature changes. Okay? It's like nature's way of slowly breaking rocks into tiny bits, which is an important step in making soil and shaping the earth's surface. Do we get that? Good. So next we're going to be looking at types of weathering. Types of weathering. There are two main types of weathering. Physical weathering. This is like breaking rocks into smaller pieces without changing what they are made of. It happens because of things like freezing, thawing, and rocks rubbing against each other. Do we understand that? Physical weathering involves the mechanical breakdown of rocks into smaller bits without changing their chemical composition. It occurs due to physical forces and environmental factors such as temperature changes, pressure, the action of water, wind. Okay? Do we understand that? Physical weathering is when rocks break down into smaller pieces without changing what they are made of. You can think of it as rocks being physically crushed or cracked due to things like ice, wind. Do we get that? Good. Chemical weathering. Here, rocks change their stuff. It's like when minerals in rocks react with things like water or air, making the rocks dissolve or crumble. Okay? Chemical weathering occurs when minerals in rocks are dissolved through chemical reactions with various substances, including water, acid, air. This type of weathering changes the chemical composition of the rocks and minerals involved. Do we get that? Chemical weathering. In this type, rocks change their chemical makeup. It's when rocks react when things like water or air, making them dissolve or crumble slowly over time. Okay, so these are the two types of weathering: physical weathering and chemical weathering. These two types of weathering are how nature transforms rocks into soil or shapes the earth's surface. Okay, do we understand that? Good. So next we're going to be looking at factors of soil formation. Factors of soil formation. These are the things that affect how soil develops naturally, okay? Imagine soil like a recipe, and these factors are the ingredients. Do we get that? Okay, one of the factors of soil formation, parent material. The type of soils and minerals in an area is like the starting point for soil. Different rocks create different types of soil. Soil starts with the rocks and minerals that are already there, and different types of rocks create different types of soil. Okay? The kind of rocks in an area is like the main ingredient in the recipe, affecting what the soil will be like. Do we understand? Okay, good. Climate. The weather conditions, like temperature and rainfall, affect how soil forms. Places with lots of rains and warm temperatures tend to have more fertile soil. The weather and temperature of an area affects how fast soil forms. And places with lots of rain and warmth tend to form soil more quickly. Topography. The shape and slope of the land make a difference. Soil on the hillside may be different from soil on flat ground because of erosion and drainage. The shape of the land matters. Soil on a slope might be different from soil on a flat ground because of erosion and water flow. Do we understand that? Good. Living organisms. Plants and animals play a role. When plants die and decay, they add organic matter to the soil, making it richer. Earthworms and other organisms also help mix the soil. Plants and animals contribute to soil formation by adding organic matter when they die and decompose. This makes the soil richer. Time. Soil formation takes a long time, often thousands of years. The longer the time, the more developed the soil becomes. So soil formation is a slow process. The longer the time, the more developed the soil becomes. Okay? Human activities. What people do, such as farming, construction, or pollution, can change the soil and its quality. Human activity. What people do, like farming or construction, can change soil and how it is formed. Okay? These factors all work together to create the different types of soil we find around the world. Parent material, which are the rocks, climate, weather, topography, the shape of the land, living organisms, plants and animals, time, human activities. All these work together. Okay? These factors work together to create different types of soil we find around the world. So next we're going to be looking at soil composition. Soil composition. It's what soil is made of, and there are four main components. Okay? Dirt and rocks. Soil is like tiny pieces of dirt and rocks. Mineral particles. Okay? Soil is like tiny pieces of dirt and rocks. These are tiny pieces of rocks and minerals that make up the solid part of the soil. They are broken rocks and minerals, and they come in different sizes. 2. Decaying stuff. It also has old leaves, bugs, and things that rotten away. This is decaying plants and animal material in the soil, okay, like leaves and dead bugs. It provides nutrients for the plants. Organic matter. It is made up of dead plants, leaves, and tiny organisms in the soil. Water. Soil has some water in it, like a sponge. Soil has water in its small spaces, which is important for plants to grow. Soil contains water in its tiny spaces. Tiny holes. They are small spaces for air, like the tiny holes in a sponge. Just like we need air to breathe, soil has tiny air spaces between the particles. These spaces allow plant roots and soil organisms to get oxygen. Okay, so these are the four main things soil is made of. 1. Tiny rocks or mineral particles. Decaying stuff, organic matter or organic matter. Water, tiny holes or air. Okay, these are what soil is made of. Do we understand? Good. So today's lesson on weathering, we looked at the meaning of weathering. We also looked at types of weathering, factors of soil formation, and soil composition, right? And we understood everything. Okay, we said weathering is a natural process where rocks and minerals break down over time, right? And is essential for creating soil and shaping the earth's surface. We said that, right? Good. We also looked at the types of weathering. We said there are two main types of weathering: physical and chemical weathering, right? Then we looked at the factors of soil formation. Soil formation is influenced by various factors: the types of rock in an area, climate, the land shape, living organisms, time, and human activities. Then we looked at soil composition. Soil is like a recipe with four main ingredients, right? It has tiny rocks, decaying organic matter, water, air. These components support plant growth and life in the ground, right? So we understood today's lesson on weathering. Good. So next we are going to be looking at our assignments. I'm sure we are going to be able to do our assignments, right? Okay, good.